Everybody, we are here for a new series on the channel, which I thought would be really fun considering we're doing daily uploads. And I'm interacting with you guys quite a bit more these days. We're doing a comment video. Basically, I put out a post on my YouTube community tab asking you guys just what are your takes about the current format? What do you want to see? What do you think about Pokemon Champions? That sort of thing. So today we're going to be going through a couple of the responses and just talking about that, and I'll be giving my thoughts on this sort of thing. My qualifications are I play Pokemon for a living, and I went to the World Championships as a competitor once. So basically, I'm like LeBron James. Let's just get right into it. We don't need to do a ton of editing for this video. And if you guys want to see your comment featured on the next video, be sure to turn notifications so you can see when I put out that post asking you guys for your opinions, and maybe you'll make it into the next one. We'll do these every Saturday or maybe Sunday. I don't know. First post comes from Astar24653. Option to save full game replays so more people can share their games and teams without having to buy equipment. I'd like them to use the online game competition to do some wacky rule sets as events so we can take a break from regular rank to cook up other stuff. This is actually like a pretty good point. I do think that the lack of replays makes it so Pokemon Champions isn't nearly as useful for practice as like other tools like Showdown can be, because you can review your replays. That being said, you can review your replays still by using a capture card or some kind of capture utility to record your games, even if it's just like a camera pointed at your Switch. That technically works. I don't think this is a great workaround, but what I will say is that I kind of know why they probably don't have replays in this game, and that has to do with how often this game gets updated. If you look at games, I think it was like Overwatch, where you can save your replays for your games and just see what you can improve on. Those replays, I believe, would get scrapped and be unusable because they're basically inputting all the same commands and like RNG as they would in the base game instead of like recording a video file. And because of that, it makes it so when the game gets updated, it's basically impossible to recreate things the same way. So like the RNG might get adjusted on like Dire Claw, where now it's 25% or like 30% again. And now when you Dire Claw, it's not going to work the same way. So like replays are interesting for Pokemon. We used to have them back in Gen 6 and even I think Gen 7 and Gen 5 and before. But the thing with those games is that they would basically never get updated. And we did eventually, I think there was one game, I think it was like Gen 7 after the game first came out, we did get an update and then replays became unusable for stuff before then, something like that. I'm like vaguely remembering it, but I know why replays aren't in the game, but that doesn't mean there can't be a workaround. But I'm not sure if Pokemon's willing to input like the Overwatch solution where it's like you do have a replay, but before the game updates, you need to export it as a video. I get why they don't exist, because like, I guess logistically it's a little difficult to work around the constant updates the game's going to be getting. But yeah, as far as like competitions go, I do think that it is a good idea to allow for us to have like these fun competitions. Like back in Gen 9, we even had these online competitions like the Paldean Prologue and stuff where you can only use Pokemon from Paldea and nothing else. And we even had like some back in Gen 6 where you could only use electric types. That was really cool. And Pikachu was like #1. If Pikachu was like number whatever in usage, we got an exclusive move on Pikachu, which that Pikachu move was Endeavor, and it went on to win the World Championships in 2016. So yeah, this could be really cool. I think that we do want more specific online fun like competitions. So next up is from Poppy Sis. I really hope as more items inevitably get added, we get regulations that ban certain items. I think that can really help bring the overall power down and let more crazy picks shine, like obviously Ariados, which if you don't know, Ariados won the first global challenge a couple of weeks ago. This video was 2 weeks in the making. I never got around to making it when I wanted to, and we're going to be doing it more consistently, obviously. But yeah, it's been a minute since Ariados won that tournament, about half a month. But I will say that I do agree. I think it'd be interesting if they did ban certain items for certain regulations. Obviously, you know, as updates come out, we're not always going to be able to use Mega Stones. There will be a format where Megas will be banned, but like we'll have Z Stones or something. As far as like the base game items, I'm not sure if I'm super on board with it, but I could see the potential where like one format, they get rid of, I don't know. I think there are certain items where you just can't do it with, like the Focus Sash, the Choice Scarf, those are important, but maybe like there's a format where they get rid of the Assault Vest or something. I could almost see it where now that's like the format we're playing in. Charizard is like everywhere. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think that items don't need to be banned as much as like Pokemon could be banned. I think that will do a lot more for changing the metagame than items. But yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from with this sort of take. From Gloomy706, we need Golisopod in the game. I can't wait any longer for its ability. Yeah, no, I want Golisopod in the game. I need to know if it's going to get a good ability or not. I'm hoping there's a few options for me that I would hope for. Water Bubble is the absolute not going to happen, but I want it to get that ability. But it's probably going to be Tough Claws. That's like my tempering my expectations ability. And worst case scenario, it's probably going to get Emergency Exit. That's like the worst one, but maybe. From Kochu, some kind of Pokédex would be nice. The only way to know what your ability becomes when you Mega Evolve is to check the summary screen during a battle, LOL. I mean, kind of. The game, does the game not have a Pokédex? Is there no way to check like all Pokemon's like stats at once? Hold on, I'm gonna check this. I need to confirm this for myself. Give me a second. Okay, I'm looking around. Is there a Pokédex? Okay, it's obviously not in battles. Maybe it's in the box? Does the box have some kind of thing? Let me see. So let's check this. Check summary. When it Mega Evolves, you can't really check forms. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with this. And I kind of understand what's going on here. So there's no Pokédex natively within the game, which I do think is kind of unacceptable. It's never been pointed out to me before that there is no Pokédex within the game. I couldn't find it. Maybe there is one and I'm just not seeing it. If there is one, my apologies. But the Pokédex for the game is technically Pokemon Home. I guess you need Pokemon Home to play Champions to its full extent. Yeah, I guess it's just the one in Home. But yeah, there should be one within the game. Why can't you be able to tell like basic info about your Pokemon like when it Mega Evolves natively within the game? You have to Mega Evolve it in the game and then check within battle what your ability is. That is really goofy. That is quite the oversight. From Andrew Anderson 7424, this is more of a buff than a new feature, but I really want Meganium to get access to growth. Effectively having Nasty Plot in a Pokemon with Meganium's bulk and base special attack and a spread move would definitely shoot Meganium up in the tier lists. I think Meganium's fine where it is. I think that if you are the average Mega Pokemon, you are wanting to be Meganium's level of viability because you can't all be Charizards or Aerodactyls. Not even Aerodactyl all the time. Aerodactyl's one of the best Megas right now because there's other Megas that aren't in the game. You can't always be like a Metagross or an Aerodactyl or a Charizard. Meganium is fine. It is a good Mega Pokemon that does see usage, not on every team, but on enough teams where I think that it does warrant it being basically a niche pick in some situations. And that's good enough. I think that's good enough. I don't think it needs growth. I think that growth would be nice and it would make Meganium a lot stronger, but also with that level of bulk, if we did give Meganium access to Nasty Plot, I do think that we would be reaching a territory of not necessarily a broken Pokemon, but one that is way more annoying to deal with than it should be, kind of like Milotic was a couple of weeks ago. It's going to reach like that territory. From Christo Unlimited, I was bummed initially about not all the Megas being in the game and the severely limited item pool, but now that it's been a month, I'm actually super happy with where the meta is at. I feel like if all items were available, then stuff like Mega Scovelin and Ariados wouldn't have the results we'd be seeing. The only feature I can think that I'd want is customizable rules in private lobbies, like having 6v6 singles with like a 60-minute timer. I will say, I get what you mean with like, you know, being happy that certain items aren't in the game. I will say that like that is just the nature of the game. If certain items aren't in the game, like the Assault Vest isn't right now, like Choice Specs isn't, like Life Orb isn't, then other Pokemon will see higher levels of viability. I think that Mega Glumora would never see a day of usage if the Life Orb existed or if the Power Herb existed. That's true. Down the road, though, I am hoping that they're going to add more items. Obviously, they're going to. We know that the Rocky Helmet is on the menu for the game, you know. As for customizable rule sets, yeah, we definitely need that in the game. I think that private lobbies, there's no reason not to be able to do 6v6 with an unlimited timer, or 6v6 with a 60-minute timer. Not unlimited, but yeah. My biggest wish for champions, this is Jay Slacky, by the way, YouTube member. If you guys want to support me, you can become a YouTube member, get access to the Discord and everything. I want a official best of 3 playlist. It doesn't have to be ranked, but having the option to best of 3 with matchmaking would help a lot of people improve. Yes, tournaments official rule sets are best of 3. There is no reason for this game not to have some native best of 3. It does exist technically within private lobbies where you can just battle again and it keeps track of like your win streak and whatever. But yeah, a best of 3 playlist or like a best of 3 ladder would be good. I think that generally they're not going to do a best of 3 ranked format, just because this game is going to be releasing on mobile, and it seems like they want it to be a pick up and play type game. So if the main ranked format was best of 3, I don't think that people would like be as excited to hop into a game, because it's like a best of 3 can be an hour-long commitment at times. A lot of people play best of 3s on Showdown, and a best of 3 on Showdown is fine to ladder on because the games happen like that. But this game has full animations. It has like a bunch of stuff going on that you have to sit through not doing anything, and also it takes time to load each turn. So while I do want this to be a feature added in the future, I don't think it will be, purely based off the fact that a single game on a best of 3 ladder in this format where there are animations and stuff is gonna take like an hour sometimes. And that's fine for games like League or whatever. They obviously have hour-long games, but Pokemon has never really been that type of game. So yeah, I get it. Obviously, like laddering on best of 3 would be a huge commitment too. Like, I reached number 1 on ladder for best of 3. I played for 7 hours today and we finished 10 games. That's, ooh. From Grawled 1195, the Yeti Crab is like top 5 megas, but the world isn't ready for that info yet. I kind of agree. I think that the Yeti Crab is top 5 in design. As far as gameplay, probably not like the best. It's strong, it's good on like Hard Trick Room, but I don't think that Hard Trick Room is all that right now. From Logan Adams 23, I hope they add a leaderboard. I want to see who the top rated players are. I want more than just to be able to see my rating. I included this one because, Logan, I have some good news for you. Check this out. You can actually do exactly what you want. Check this out. You go to battle data. You go to ranked battles. You can check your friends, right? You can also check all trainers. How are they doing this season in double battles? This is the leaderboard. It only goes up to like top 300, right? But still, that is a leaderboard. I would like to see how everyone's doing, but I really don't need to see how everyone's doing because I can see how my friends are doing and I can see how I'm doing, and that's all that really matters. My friends need to play rank this season. I do too. I've hardly played rank, but yeah, this does exist within the game. I just wanted to let you know that yes, this is a feature in the game already. From Blazing J972, I wish we had at least 1 or 2 more options for Follow Me users, because clicking Rage Powder gets annoying when I'm staring at a grass type like Mega Scovillain. My team has a bad matchup into it, which is why I hate fighting it. LOL. I genuinely think that this could be a format where Pachirisu would actually see some level of usage if it was in the game, especially since it can eat an Electroshot from Arch for basically free. Yeah, I think that this would be a good Pachirisu format, definitely. Generally speaking, we just need more tools for each role. I made a video about this the other day, just saying that each role only has a couple of Pokemon that can do it. The main offender of which being like King Gambit, Charizard, Basket Legion. But this also applies to support Pokemon. There's not a lot of Redirection users, and there's only a couple of okay Follow Me users, the rest of which are all Rage Powder, which means that the grass types just get to bypass it. But yeah, Pachirisu would be a solid inclusion in this format. I think it would even be very good. I think Pachirisu would be a very good Pokemon on a lot of teams. It's definitely an alternative to Mousehold, but if you have a bad rain matchup, Pachirisu is a good option, you know? Most of the time, though, Mousehold will be the better pick. From Epticrin, Fede Campo's Ariados is an example of the perfect 6th Pokemon on a specific composition. Similar to Sage Park's Pachirisu, as long as Sneasler and Basket Legion remain paired up on a lot of teams, Ariados will have value protecting Sylveon and other defensively frail Sneasler weak attackers. What excites me about Champions is that more people playing means more niche Pokemon getting their niche in the spotlight. Seeing posts like, I lost badly to Aromatisse don't mean Aromatisse is an all-star Pokemon, but it makes you think about how it could fit on a team. The more creativity and exploration VGC has, the more fun this game will be. Yeah, I definitely am gonna agree with that. Fede Campo using Ariados was like kind of a stroke of genius. I think it's really cool that this Pokemon finally got its moment in the spotlight, even if it was just for this one format and not an official competition. Ariados still does see some usage here and there. But yeah, I think that the more people play in this game, the more creativity we will have, and the more technically, like the more people play a game, the more meta progression we'll see, and just offshoots of stuff that like are good will exist. Like, you know, the team with the Ariados existing. It was a meta team with an Ariados on it that helps it beat Sneasler and stuff. I will say that I think that a lot of players right now don't really know how to build off meta effectively. I think most people only know how to build off meta poorly, where it's like the average person who wants to build like a team that is anti-meta isn't familiar enough with using meta teams, or even has lost to them enough to be familiar with those teams to build a team that does that. It's always like, here's my anti-meta team, and it's like a Politoed, an Ariados, not the right kind of Ariados. It's like first impression with like the silver powder. I don't know, a Halucha, non-mega form, a Mega Autono, and it's like, cool, how is this anti-meta? And then they go like, well, nothing on the team is meta. That's not what anti-meta means. Anti-meta means you beat the stuff that's good. You just brought 6 toddlers to like a picnic. They think they're going to a picnic, but no, they're facing Sephiroth on the other side of the field. Like, why are you bringing those guys to fight this guy? Yeah, I think that generally speaking, this is a good thing for champions. It's just that like a lot of people need to keep playing and learn how to like build these sort of teams where like these off meta picks work effectively. From Evan Way Mayer, the lack of Assault Vest and Covert Cloak has actually been phenomenal for close team sheet ladder. Quick Claw should not be in the game. I'm going to say I'm cool with the Covert Cloak being excluded for purposes specifically to close team sheet. Covert Cloak and close team sheet is a nightmare. I'm just going to throw it out there. The Assault Vest, no, we need that. Frankly, the Assault Vest would fix a lot of issues that I have with the current meta. Yeah, I think that the Assault Vest is not necessarily a cheesy item or an item that takes advantage of lack of information nearly as much as the Covert Cloak or the Quick Claw. But yeah, the Quick Claw, get rid of it. I don't want it here. From Mimiyan or Pika Pika fan, I hope Dracovish comes back in the next format has Dynamax, or it's Terra themed and we get Dondozo Tatsugiri with Murkrow, so we get some reggae nostalgia from Scarlet Violet's ranked. I think this is the first comment on this video where I disagree entirely with every take on here. And that's not to be mean. I'm just gonna say 2 things, right? For the Dracovish one, I do hope Dracovish comes back. Then there's some Basculegion competition in broken water type territory. I'm cool with that, right? The next format having Dynamax, that's not going to happen. You shouldn't expect Dynamax for like a year minimum. The fact of the matter is, for the first year of this game's life cycle, we can basically expect it to be entirely Mega Pokemon. We are in a Mega cycle of Pokemon. It will have Dynamax eventually. They've basically confirmed that, as, you know, they've showed Terra and they're like, yeah, all these different mechanics will be in the game at some point, but that's way down the line. I don't want it back anytime soon. I've always not really been a fan of Dynamax. I think Dynamax is one of the more volatile formats where making one mistake is just game ending. You have to play as perfect as possible, which some people might say that's like a good format. I just don't enjoy it because that also means that RNG is a lot more broken. Like if you have bad RNG one turn, it can just be really bad. Or if you have your Dynamax Pokemon put to sleep, that really sucks. If it's Terra, we get Dondozo Tatsugiri with Murkrow for some reggae nostalgia from SV's ranked. I don't think I want Dondozo back for a while. I think I'm good. Glamora with like King Gambit Basculegion in the back is already currently like the flavor of the week. Dondozo with Glamora in a format with no, you know, if there is Terra, like obviously we'll have Terra to like deal with it. But like I would prefer Dondozo to come back in a format with no Terra before we play a Terra format, because Dondozo with no Terra is way more manageable with the lack of tools that we have. There's a good reason Dondozo isn't in the game right now, and that's because we don't have the tools to deal with it effectively with most teams. Lug, I'm just gonna call you Lug. Also add Power Herb and Indeedee, please, Game Freak. No. I'm cool with Power Herb. Power Herb would make Glamora pretty cool. For Indeedee, I think we're good. I know why people want Indeedee. It's the hard Trick Room Side Spam players. That's the only people who are begging for Indeedee right now. I get it. I understand. You only know one team. The hard Trick Room Side Spam players, they're like, I want to click Expanding Force. I want to click. Let me click Expanding Force and then Eruption. I don't want to learn board positioning. I just want to click my move and I want to climb to the middle of Master Ball. I want to sit at 1900 rating and never move an inch up or down, not moving one. Right? I don't want Indeedee back. I don't want Indeedee back because I think that like as good as hard Trick Room Side Spam is as a team to teach people how to play the game, it falls in the same realm as Dondozo, where like Heart Trick Room, Side Spam, Dondozo, those are teams that you can play at like a higher level and do well with and like really achieve good tournament results with. They function best as a team to teach someone how to play the game, to teach them the basics. It is quite literally training wheels for someone who has never played Pokemon before in a lot of situations, because you can very easily teach someone the flowchart. You can do really good with them, and like there is a decent amount of skill expression. But what I will say is that I think that adding Heart Trick Room, Side Spam for the game, specifically at this point of the game's life cycle, is just going to create an entire new generation of people who learn Heart Trick Room, Side Spam and don't learn anything else. I'm okay giving them Heart Trick Room, Side Spam 1 or 2 seasons from now because they've had to play other teams and learn the fundamentals and like play the game more like in depth. Then you can give them Heart Trick Room, Side Spam because they won't have an issue going back to playing other stuff. But for now, I don't think that I want the training wheels in the game. I want the current format to teach them how to play, and then Indeedee can come back down the road when we know they can handle that. But yeah. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today. I just wanted to give like a comment video a try. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe. I know it's not going to get as many views as the other types of videos that I do, but of course, if you guys want to, you know, just interact with me, this is a good way of doing it. I also have a Patreon and a Discord and like a YouTube membership thing if you guys want access to that, where I team build and like just host tournaments for everyone. You can just become a YouTube member by clicking the join button below, and also you can get access by becoming a Twitch sub or a Patreon member. Any one of those will get you access to that, and that's just a fun little community we have going on. I'm thinking that I'll also take a couple of comments from the Discord each week, just as like, hey, if you want a higher likelihood of getting in, you can submit it here. But yeah, this is just a fun video. Let me know what you guys think. If we should do it next week, I'd really appreciate it if you guys give me that feedback. With that, I'm going to call it. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.